Hey everybody, Tony Bears here again, and I'm joined by
Russ.
Jay.
And this is Movie Grades, and in this episode of Movie Grades we're going to be talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.2. So, Russell, I'm going to start with you.
Let me start by saying, I know Tony has said in the past that he likes when movies can stand alone on their own merit, whether they're a sequel or whichever installment they are. This is a movie, you have to see the first one to understand the second one. Jay and I did not review the first one with Tony. I'll just sum it up by saying that, honestly, this movie has a completely different tone from the first one. The first one was more lighthearted and fun. This one has more into serious territory. Unfortunately, I don't think the transition was that great, but the end result I think worked out very nicely.
Jay?
Oh, first of all, I saw this in 3D. You saw it in 3D too, right?
Yes, I saw it in 3D.
I did not. I saw it in 2D.
I think the 3D effects are really well done in this movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I don't understand why they didn't go with Jason from Spartacus. Why they didn't do that? Because that in the comic, that's his actual father. Why they went a different direction? Unless the original direction was too convoluted, maybe it was too much to it. Maybe the ego story arc was more easier.
I'll say this: I think they did it to connect to the
Celestials.
The Celestials of the first movie to the Infinity Stones.
And what Glenn Close's character in the first movie?
She was
With the Nova Corps.
Yeah,
She's
head of the
Nova Corps Prime.
Yeah.
She had said to him that his father is ancient. So, the Celestials are ancient too. I guess Jason of Spartacus is probably not ancient. And I like the design of Ego. Not just the version of him, like as a human version, but also when they actually showed the planet, it actually did have the face and everything. So, they really did a good job with that CGI and everything. And it looked really like comic accurate. I was surprised they actually went that far, which actually it was better to do it that way. They just wanted to see how far they can go. It just was really, really good. I enjoyed it. I think it was better than the first one in my opinion.
I'll say this, I like the first one better. I thought this was really good. I have to disagree with Russell on the tone. I thought it was pretty much exactly the same. What made this one not as good as the original is I think the original, is because we get to know the characters for the first time and they're going on a mission. They have a goal. This one, they don't really have a goal. Things are actually coming to them instead of them going to get whatever. It's like Ego's coming to them.
But it's the biggest question we want to find out.
Yeah, we want to know who's Peter's father. And I thought there was a few problems with this one. For example, I thought the story just wasn't as good. Ego, I didn't understand his motivation. I didn't understand how Nebula and Gamora could become friends so easily. And it's like, okay. Overall, I think what wins me over is the characters and the humor and the action. I think the strongest aspect is the characters. I liked them and I liked seeing them again, so I liked the movie. That's pretty much. There's a lot, and the characters evolved too, in my opinion, a little bit. Let's go back to Russell. What didn't you like about it?
Well, I was actually thinking about mentioning these things. I'll tell you some things I liked and didn't. Let me start with what I didn't, because it was bothering me the whole time while I was in the theater. I'm not going to lie. First of all, until we actually got to the big resolution at the end, pretty much everything from the time they left the Sovereign, those gold people, to about the time where Yondu and Rocket are trying to get Groot to get his prototype fin out of the that little shelf, the drawer. It's just, the movie just fell flat for me. It's just like, it didn't really seem like anything interesting was going on. I know they tried to compensate with a lot of exchange with Drax and Mantis. Once they took away Drax's main motivation for wanting to off Ronan, he got really annoying for me. I just thought his humor got tiring. Now Mantis, she's got potential, but she sounds like whenever I'd call up a company that I was doing business with, I'd get one of those Filipinos answering the 800 number and reading off the cue cards, and I was thinking, oh god, her voice is driving me nuts. I don't know, that kind of pulled me out. But what I did like, however, Yondu and Rocket together was just incredible. Their chemistry, oh my god, is to die for. And there was, towards the end, during the climax, where Ego makes the gigantic, shocking reveal, I was thinking to myself, oh, please, don't go into that cliche of, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do this because he's my father. No. Instead, you see that emotion with Star-Lord immediately change from being in that trance to just going right after him. I'm like, thank you! I mean, half the audience was clapping when it happened, but I'm just glad they didn't go with that cliche. So there were certain things I liked and certain things I didn't. My problem is I didn't see the massively consistent flow like I did with the first one, and that's why, in fact, when to me, the boring stuff that was going on when it happened, I was thinking, let me guess, all this is going to come together in the climax, is it? And it did in a major way, so I was able to forgive it, but I kind of wish it didn't have to happen. I just wanted I wanted that throughout feel the entire time, if you get what I'm saying.
What do you guys think about like the new cast, like Sylvester? What do you think about Sylvester Stallone?
Well, here's the interesting thing about them. Supposedly, those are the original Guardians of the Galaxy.
Those are the originals, and they're saying that James Gunn wants to do part 3, where it's going to be called Volume 3 or whatever it is. He says that one's going to take place after the Infinity War, or at least what we're hearing is supposed to take place at the Infinity War. But he wants to do other Guardians of the Galaxy, but it may not include the main Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think they're going to kill them off or anything, no. But they might like retire. Maybe they'll make like I don't want them to make like cameo appearances, but I want them to get like let's just say like you have like Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Like I would like to see like maybe like a few like at least in 10 minutes in the movie with them if they're going to do another Guardians of the Galaxy group. A new group or old group. Or
I think what would be interesting is if they did like a spin-off movie, kind of like Star Wars is doing with Rogue One. That's what I would like to see.
Only do it well.
Do it well, exactly.
Yeah. We'll see with Han Solo.
It's funny that you said you didn't like Drax and Mantis because those were actually my 2 favorite characters in this movie. I don't know what it is. It's their chemistry I thought was good. You mentioned Yondu and Rocket.
Love those two.
And those were great too, and I like their chemistry too. But I don't know. I just thought that was funny. It's funny. Now, if you don't mind me mentioning that, I don't know if you've ever said this on camera, but that you are yourself autistic.
Yes, folks, you heard him correct.
And a lot of people has said that they see Drax and Mantis as autistic characters.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's funny how I think he has a love interest for her, but he's always saying. He said to her, he's like, "You are beautiful," and then he whispers on the inside. But I want to make one more. I want to make another important point: the chemistry of Rocket and Groot. Now, in the first movie, their roles were reversed in this movie. Remember, Groot was like the big brute, and he protected Rocket. But in this movie, it was the reverse roles where Rocket had to protect Groot this time. And
that's why I was mentioned before about character development.
Yeah,
the cuteness roles were reversed and the badass roles were reversed.
Yeah,
which was awesome.
And the constant theme throughout this movie is family and father. Peter was looking for his father, or his father was looking for him, and in that way, Rocket was kind of Groot's father.
Yeah.
Peter realizes that Yondu is his real father, or his better father figure.
And what's great,
and one more, and Gamora and Nebula realizes they're sisters and they have a big issue with their father.
Yeah. So
it all has a theme going on that I appreciate.
One thing I like about Rocket is in both movies he actually did cry. He cried over Groot in the first movie, and this movie he cried over Yondu, which is very interesting. And now we got to talk about another big thing. We got this. No, this is a big thing because we got to talk about Stan Lee. I enjoy his cameo, but there's more to his cameo in this movie than any other movie.
That's true.
First of all, he's with the Watchers, and what do the Watchers do? They watch everything. They make sure there's balance in the whole entire Marvel universe. And actually, Stan Lee is an observer. He actually works for the Watchmen. So every
Watchers.
time what do we say, Watchmen?
Yes.
The Watchers. So every movie you've seen Stan Lee in of the MCU, we're not trying to talk about the Sony or Fox. Every MCU movie, it's been the same exact character. because he's been watching for the Watchers. He's been the observer for the Watchers, and when he was in part of the Nova Corps, or watching every movie, it's the same character, and that finally comes. I don't want to say full circle, but we finally get an answer that it's always been the same person, and not like a different character in each movie of the MCU. We're talking MCU here.
And it's kind of funny since we're like what 1 or 2 movies away from the big conclusion.
So I think we get final grades.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I am going to give it, and this is for the entire story arc, both Guardians 1 and 2 together. I'm going to give it a B+.
Any final thoughts?
Basically, like I said, I mean, as a whole story arc, it's fantastic. I don't want to rate the movies separately. I know everyone's saying, "Oh, this is some of the best of the Marvel Cinematic Universe." I don't agree with that. I never have, but it's definitely been an enjoyable ride so far with the Guardians. Definitely. I am Groot.
I enjoyed the new characters. I mean, I liked Mantis. And they're talking about Adam Warlock, but what's kind of funny is I thought we saw the pot of him in the Collectors. So what is this? Another? I don't know. I guess
you're supposed to kind of just ignore that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to.
And here's the thing: when we see Adam Warlock, is he going to start as a kid, or is he going to grow up? And that's the other thing I like. They finally. Groot is finally a teenager. It was one of the after credit scenes, and Kraglin looks like he's going to be picking up where Yondu, continuation of Yondu and stuff like that. But I'm glad I enjoyed this movie a lot. I enjoyed it better than the first one. I would have probably given the first one probably like an A. So this one's probably gonna get. I don't know. It's hard to say because, like I said, I'll probably have to go with Russell. It's not really a sequel. It's a continuation or part 2. So I'm gonna grade them together as the same. I'm gonna give Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 an A. And what about you, Tony?
Okay. I like this movie a lot. Like I said, I didn't like it as much as the first one. The first one, I did give it a B. This one, I think the humor is fantastic. The characters, I love the characters. The plot in the story I thought was kind of weak. The villain Ego, I thought he was a little weak too. I thought I like Kurt Russell. And so, he's actually one of my favorite actors. I love Snake Plissken, Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing. But anyway, this I think was kind of a weak performance for him. I hate to say it since I like him so much.
But great CGI for that first scene with him. Just like Michael
Douglas.
Michael Douglas, in Ant-Man.
Michael and Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. If you can age a character backwards, it's easy, but forward, it just doesn't work.
So anyway, the special effects are really good. The only problem I had with the special effects is like when you're on Ego's planet, for example, that nothing is real, and that's basically all green screen set there. So I kind of had it. Kind of took me out of the movie just a little bit, but I think the characters and the humor just raises it so much for me. If they didn't have that, I wouldn't have liked this movie. If they didn't have the characters and the humor. So, yeah, I'm giving this movie a B. Just the same as the first one, even though I like the first one better. And, I can't wait to see him again. We'll see what goes forward. And I'd love to see... Sylvester Stallone, Michael Rosenbaum, I think it was Michelle Yeoh, and Ving Rhames as Charlie 27. I can't wait to see what they do with it. And Adam 12, not Adam 12, Adam Warlock. I can't wait. They have to put him in Infinity War or somehow in there. And we got a lot of cameos again. We got Howard the Duck again.
One thing I forgot to mention. Sorry. No, this is important. I love how the Sovereign had their like arcade. It was like an arcade cabinet, and how everybody was around that one guy. Like if it was back in the '80s, that's what it would have been like.
Exactly.
And
speaking of video game cabinets, Pac-Man. We got to see him become Pac-Man.
Yeah.
He also said one good thing that we all like is he says, I'm going to make a whole lot of crazy shit. And he said Pac-Man and Skeletor, and we didn't get to see Skeletor, so I'm taking points off for that. No, we didn't get to see Skeletor.
That was funny though.
But
they said Heather
Heather Locklear, yes.
Okay. But I like how they did that whole scene, like they're like it was all remote.
Yeah.
Remote. That was really cool, and how. Even though they lost, they weren't really like sore losers. Like, okay, we lost.
Well, they were sore losers.
Yeah, because they're sore losers because they want to release this Adam against them, but whatever.
And also because they all, like you said in the '80s, when he lost, like, you suck.
Yeah. And like Rocket says, you're conceited douchebags. So,
I guess that's it. I'm Tony Beers.
Russ.
Jay.
We'll
see you next time.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. For more Toxic Pop, visit our website at toxicpop1.wixsite.com/toxicpop. Email us at toxicpop1@gmail.com. And check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/toxicpop1 and Instagram at instagram.com/wearetoxicpop. Links are in the description.